All right, so you're thinking about becoming a consultant.
It's a great path.
Yeah, lots of people are taking that leap. We got a ton of questions about it. So for this deep dive, we're going through some material from a guy named Alan Weiss.
You picked a great one. He's like I don't know, the godfather of consulting.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So he wrote a bunch of books and articles, even some videos. So we're going to try and extract the most valuable stuff.
It sounds good.
Yeah. And specifically, there's kind of two sides to starting a consulting practice. There's the practical stuff, like how do you set up your business?
Right.
But then there's also the mindset.
Oh, yeah.
Huge, which he talks a lot about. So we'll try and cover both.
Yeah, let's jump in.
Okay. So right off the bat, one thing that Weiss emphasizes, like constantly, is this idea of mindset.
Yeah, you have to believe in yourself. Right?
Yeah. He actually has this quote, and he calls these little nuggets of wisdom Alanisms, which I love. It's like being an expert in the consulting field means focusing on marketing your value to true buyers.
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there, but
Yeah.
the most important thing is that you're not just selling a service, you're providing value, and you need to market that value effectively.
So it's more than just like having the skills. You need to believe in yourself and, communicate that.
It's like a shift in perspective. Weiss talks about moving from the scarcity mentality to an abundance mentality.
What does that mean?
Well, scarcity is like, I need to get every client I can, I'm desperate, and abundance is I have so much to offer, the right clients will come to me.
Oh, confidence is key.
It really is.
I read this one story about Weiss that kind of blew my mind. He talked about how even when he was just starting out and didn't have a lot of money, he'd fly first class and use limos.
Oh, yeah. Bold move, but brilliant.
Seems so counterintuitive to me.
Well, think of it this way. He was embodying the value he wanted to offer. Clients who are looking for that level of expertise, they're impressed by that kind of confidence.
It's like, fake it till you make it.
More like, invest in the image of success even before you have it.
So you're saying even little things, like how you dress for a meeting, can make a difference?
It all adds up to that perception of value. And that leads us to identifying your true buyers, as Weiss calls them.
Okay, yeah. The clients that are actually going to appreciate and pay for what you offer.
Exactly. He talks about aiming for hang tens.
Hang tens, like surfing.
Yeah. Clients who would give you a perfect score, 10 out of 10, because they're the ones you want to work with, right? But he also warns about getting stuck in what he calls the La Brea tar pits.
Uh-oh. That sounds dangerous.
It can be for your consulting practice. These are places like, I don't know, some HR departments or training divisions that might seem accessible.
Yeah, I can see that,
But they often don't have the budget or authority to hire you at your level.
So you get bogged down with meetings and proposals, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly. You're wasting time that could be spent on clients who are ready to invest in your expertise.
Makes sense. So how do you avoid these tar pits?
Weiss has this great anecdote about a bet he made. He bet his colleagues $1,000. They couldn't name 3 HR executives who became CEOs of Fortune 1000 companies in like 5 years.
Oh, wow.
No one could.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to either.
Right. It shows that you need to aim higher. Target decision makers, the people with real buying power, CEOs, VPs, people who control budgets.
Okay, so be strategic, focus on the top, but how do you actually get to those people? I mean, most executives have like a whole army of gatekeepers protecting them.
Right. It can be tough. But Weiss suggests using assertive yet respectful language to bypass those roadblocks.
Like what?
Instead of asking, can I meet with your CEO, which probably will be a flat-out no, try something like, whose budget would support this initiative?
Oh, that's good. Getting them thinking about the money side of things right away.
Exactly. Or even, if you and I were to shake hands, could I begin tomorrow?
Okay. So it's about focusing on the action, the results, and bypassing the whole, can I get a meeting dance.
Right, because ultimately, you're not there to sell yourself. You're there to solve problems.
Okay, so let's say I've made it past the gatekeeper. I'm sitting down with the CEO. What now? How do I actually build trust and, make sure they take me seriously?
Well, first impressions are everything. Weiss emphasizes that peer-to-peer dynamic right from the start.
You mean don't act like a subordinate even though you're trying to get hired?
Right. Come across as a colleague, a collaborator, someone who can help them solve a problem, not just someone trying to sell them something.
Okay, so it's about more than just like a firm handshake and a power suit.
It's about connecting on a human level, being genuine, present, listening actively.
Right. Makes sense. But, okay, how do you actually uncover the problems they need help with? You don't want to just barge in and be like, tell me all your weaknesses.
Well, Weiss suggests using questions to guide the conversation toward those core challenges.
Yeah.
He uses this metaphor of a boat channel.
A boat channel.
Yeah. Imagine you're steering a boat. You need to navigate the conversation carefully towards their biggest pain points.
Oh, I like that.
So ask questions like, what are your goals? What obstacles are you facing? What happens if you don't address this?
Those are good questions. Gets them thinking, but also gives you the information you need to position your services.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You don't want to just tackle every little problem they mention. That's where Weiss's concept of dynamic capture comes in.
Dynamic capture. That sounds complicated.
It's actually pretty simple. It's about framing those diverse needs into one overarching goal that your expertise addresses.
Okay, give me an example.
Let's say the CEO is talking about employee turnover, declining sales, and a lack of innovation. Instead of addressing each separately, you weave them together. You say something like, it seems your core challenge is attracting and retaining top talent who can drive innovation and sales, and that's where my expertise comes in.
Oh, I see. Connecting the dots for them.
Exactly. You're not just selling a service, you're offering a solution to their biggest challenge. And that sets the stage for the next crucial step, getting conceptual agreement before even thinking about a proposal.
Conceptual agreement.
It's like a mini agreement, making sure you and the client are on the same page about objectives, measures of success, and the value the project will deliver.
So before I even write up a proposal, I need to have a conversation where we basically agree on what we're trying to achieve.
Exactly. It differentiates you from those vendors who just throw proposals over the wall.
So I'm not just selling a service, I'm collaborating.
Right. And to nail down that conceptual agreement, Weiss has some specific questions to help quantify the value you offer. Things like, what's the financial impact of this problem? How much would you gain by solving it?
So we're putting a dollar amount on the problem and the solution.
It makes it tangible, measurable, and by getting the buyer to articulate the value themselves, you increase their buy-in.
That's brilliant. So, okay, I think I'm getting this mindset thing.
It's crucial for success in consulting.
Yeah, it's not just about having the skills, it's about believing in your value and positioning yourself as a strategic partner.
Absolutely.
This has been super helpful. I'm ready to tackle the practical side of things now.
Let's do it. All right, welcome back.
So, I'm feeling pretty pumped about this whole consulting thing.
Good.
But I gotta be honest, I'm kind of overwhelmed with, the practical side of things.
Like, where to even start?
Yeah. Do I need, like, a fancy office, business cards,
Not necessarily.
a website that, like, sings and dances? What does Weiss say about all this?
Well, he's all about keeping it lean, especially in the beginning. Remember, you're going for maximum impact, minimum overhead.
Okay, so less is more.
Yeah. Focus on the essentials. A good computer, a reliable phone, a solid internet connection.
That I can do.
You don't need to go crazy with a bunch of fancy equipment right away. Start small, upgrade as you grow.
Makes sense. What about a physical office? Do I need that?
Well, he does recommend having a physical address.
Even if I'm, like, mostly working from home?
Yeah, it just adds a level of legitimacy, especially when you're dealing with corporate clients.
Right. Don't want to be like, hey, I'm working from my basement.
Exactly. The P.O. box is a good option if you're not comfortable using your home address.
Why?
And then there's the legal and financial stuff.
Oh, yeah. Taxes, all that fun stuff.
You'll want to set up a separate business entity.
An LLC or something.
Yeah. Protects your personal assets, minimizes liability.
Makes sense. I'll definitely need to do some research on that.
Yeah. And it's worth talking to a good lawyer and accountant.
Okay.
Get everything set up properly from the start.
Delegate to the experts. Speaking of experts, do I need, like, a bookkeeper?
Oh, yeah. A good bookkeeper is worth their weight in gold.
Because I'm not exactly a numbers person.
They'll keep track of all your income and expenses, make sure you're paying your taxes correctly. Saves you a ton of time and headaches.
Okay, that sounds like a good investment.
It is.
So what about building a website? I feel like every business needs a website these days.
Well, Weiss actually sees websites more as credibility statements than sales tools.
Really? Huh.
He says they're kind of like digital business cards.
So it's not about attracting new clients.
Your ideal clients, especially those in corporate settings, they're not going to be browsing the web looking for consultants.
They're going to find me through, like, word of mouth.
Exactly. Referrals, networking. Your website is there to back up your credibility once they've already heard about you.
So it doesn't need to be, like, super flashy or anything.
Nope. Keep it simple. Clear description of your services, your value proposition, maybe a few testimonials, easy contact info.
Simple and straightforward. Got it. What about social media? I feel like that's where everyone's at these days.
Weiss is a big fan of LinkedIn.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
He sees it as a way to build what he calls a body of work.
A body of work?
Basically, it's about consistently sharing valuable content that showcases your expertise. Articles, insights, case studies, anything that demonstrates your knowledge and attracts potential clients.
So it's like building a library of my expertise.
Exactly. And you don't have to create everything from scratch. Repurpose those presentations, workshops, even client successes into content.
I like that. Work smarter, not harder.
Hmm.
Okay, we've got the legal stuff, the website, the LinkedIn profile. Now, how do I actually get those clients?
That's where that marketing gravity we talked about comes in.
The magnet that pulls those clients in.
Exactly. And Weiss is a big proponent of speaking engagements.
Speaking, I thought we were talking about consulting, not public speaking.
Think of speaking as a platform to showcase your expertise to a targeted audience. It builds credibility, demonstrates your knowledge, generates leads.
But I don't know, public speaking isn't exactly my forte.
You don't have to start with a TED Talk or anything.
Okay, that's good to know.
Local business groups, industry associations, even community organizations. Start small, build your confidence.
And those can lead to, like, paid speaking gigs down the road.
They can.
Hmm.
But even if they don't, the value is in the exposure and the connections you make.
Makes sense. So speaking, networking, what else?
Writing articles for industry publications is another great way to get your name out there.
Okay, I can do that. But are people actually reading articles these days?
Your ideal clients are. Think of it as a way to position yourself as a thought leader. Choose publications that your target audience reads and focus on providing practical, actionable insights.
So it's not just about writing, it's about writing strategically.
Absolutely. And don't forget to include your website and contact info in your bio.
Right. Make it easy for people to find me. What about good old-fashioned networking? Does that still work?
Absolutely. Networking is all about building genuine relationships. Attend industry events, join professional organizations, be a human, connect with people.
Okay, but I'm not the most, like, outgoing person. How do I make sure I'm not just, awkwardly standing in the corner?
Just be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on building genuine connections. Ask questions. Be interested in what others are doing.
Okay, I can try that. Referrals are important too, right? How do I encourage those?
Referrals are gold. Start by making a list of everyone you know who might be able to connect you with potential clients, past colleagues, clients, even friends and family. Reach out, explain your new venture, ask for support.
So it's okay to ask for introductions.
Absolutely. The worst they can say is no.
True. What about pro bono work? I've heard that can be a good way to get your foot in the door.
Weiss recommends it. Offering your services to a nonprofit can be a great way to gain experience, build your portfolio, and make connections.
And it's a good way to give back, too.
Exactly. So as you can see, launching a consulting practice is about so much more than just having the skills. It's about building relationships, getting your name out there, and creating that marketing gravity that pulls clients towards you.
This has been super helpful. I feel like I have a much better understanding of the practical side of things now.
Good. You're well on your way.
All right, so we've talked about the mindset, the marketing, all that. But there's one thing I want to dig into a little deeper. It's something Weiss calls building your brand.
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah. It feels almost as important as the skills themselves.
It really is. Your brand is what sets you apart, especially in a field like consulting where there's a lot of competition.
So what does he say about it? It's not just about, like, a fancy logo.
No, it's much deeper than that. It's about the essence of who you are as a consultant, what you stand for, what you deliver.
Authenticity.
Exactly. Consistency, too.
Delivering on your promises.
Yeah, building that reputation for excellence.
Yeah.
That's what attracts the right clients.
Okay, so how do you even, like, start building a brand?
It all begins with your value proposition.
What you bring to the table, basically.
Exactly. A clear, concise statement of the unique value you offer clients.
I've seen so many websites with these vague value propositions like, we provide solutions.
Yeah, that doesn't tell you anything.
Right.
Yours needs to be specific,
Mm-hmm.
and it needs to be backed up by action.
Okay, so it's not just words, it's actions. What you actually do.
Every interaction, every project, every piece of content you create, it all contributes to your brand.
So this ties into what he calls intellectual property, right?
Right. Developing those unique models, frameworks, concepts that really showcase your expertise.
Like his Alanisms.
Exactly. Those are a great example. It's about packaging your knowledge, in a way that's both valuable and memorable.
Creating your own, like, signature style.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be just catchy phrases. It could be a unique methodology, a proprietary assessment tool.
Anything that, like, shows your unique perspective.
Yes. But it's not about hoarding your knowledge.
Right. I was going to ask about that. Like, what if someone steals my ideas?
Weiss actually argues that sharing your knowledge strengthens your brand.
Really?
Yeah, it just shows confidence. And honestly, the way you apply your knowledge, your specific experiences, that's what truly sets you apart.
Okay. That makes sense. It's not about keeping secrets. It's about using your knowledge strategically.
Exactly. Attract those ideal clients.
So, strong value proposition, intellectual property. What else is important for building a brand?
Staying in touch with your network. Nurturing those relationships. Staying top of mind.
So it's not enough to just, like, collect business cards at events.
No, you need to actually engage with those people, offer value, send personalized notes, share articles, offer advice.
Even when there's no immediate project.
Yeah, building those relationships is key. That's how you become a trusted advisor.
Oh, yeah. He talks a lot about that. What does that even mean?
It means you're not just hired for a project, you're an integral part of their inner circle.
Wow. The go-to person for advice and strategy.
Exactly, you become a true partner.
So how do you make that happen?
It takes time, consistent effort, building deep relationships, always putting your clients' interests first.
And delivering exceptional results, I imagine.
Of course. But when you reach that level, it's incredibly rewarding.
Yeah, I can see that. Not just for the business, but for the relationships themselves.
Right. And a lot of times, those trusted advisor relationships, they move to a retainer model.
So they're basically paying you for ongoing access to your expertise.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
So it seems like this whole consulting thing, it's so much more than just, like, skills and knowledge.
There's a whole different way of thinking, a whole approach to business.
It's about mindset, strategy, building relationships, and creating real value.
It's a journey, for sure,
Hmm.
but it can be an incredibly rewarding one.
I'm excited to get started. This deep dive has given me so much to think about. And to everyone listening, remember, like Weiss says, the first sale is always to yourself.
You have to believe in your own value before anyone else will.
That's such a good point. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and good luck on your consulting journeys.
See you next time.